Switch the GoPro.
Yeah, I moved the GoPro down here. That's what I wanted to do, is I wanted to catch boats creating this wake and watch how it covers up stuff toward us, see? Actually, I almost wanted to put it on the ground. A little low.
Yeah, I think I'd have to tie it down probably though, you know. Get it in closer to that water.
I'm gonna move my camera along here until I pick up those farther boats out there. Oh, I'm almost there. There's one even further, I think, right here. Yep. And all that is a mirroring. I'm gonna try to get this boat back.
All right. I wasn't able to see that that power plant down there. I don't know if I just focused in on the wrong place or what. Zoomed in on the wrong place or what, but I wasn't able to
Probably
find it.
because it is hard to find. Unless the tower's smoking.
I did film a good amount.
And I don't see the tower smoking now.
Yeah, it's hiding out.
Yeah, I don't see it. What I want to do is pick me out one of these boats in the channel here. And excuse me. Pay attention to some of these waves and how the wakes are creating different levels, and how these farther wakes that are in being able to be resolved are blocking out the farther ships that are out there. It's like layers, and these layers create these mirrors at certain distances. And you'll start seeing how these boats will start mirroring themselves from the bottoms up. And this refraction causes um, diffraction, which actually causes hiding of areas. And these hiding of these areas are where parts of boats just appear to become missing. But if you compare these to, Bill Nye's little boat demonstration, um, his little boat demonstration looks more like a lie than a real observation. Because when you really observe them with your naked eye, or actually with a camera where you can zoom in and zoom out and see exactly what's going on, these boats don't just go over a curve, they actually rise up and just continue to get smaller. So if you take perspective into consideration, these boats never do go over any curvature at 3 miles or 4 miles. I can pick these boats up for, uh, I'm not sure, but I think that I could pick some of these boats up for over 8 to 10 miles away, if not even further. But they're distorted, and they are being cut off by this diffraction refraction reaction when you are viewing, like, say, a funhouse mirror. Now, I built me a funhouse mirror, and I'm going to be doing some tests on it here soon. And I just got to get a few things like some boats, maybe some pictures of some skylines, and whatnot, and I will use these to show some experiments that really might make sense to some of us flat earthers. To globe heads, they will, always deny what's actually they're viewing, because they have been programmed not to trust their own senses, and that's the problem. There's a lot of people that walk around this world. Yeah, they may have a lot of money, but they have no common sense. And I don't understand that. I mean, I don't know if they just teach them how to, rip people off, be jugheads, whatever. But, some people are very rich. Sports guys go out there just because they're big, they're athletic. They make more money than most people will make in their whole lifetime in 1 year. How real sensible is this when you get these men that have built the infrastructure of the United States, and a lot of these little labor guys got paid jack shit for all the hard work that they did in building this country. So, when you look at the reality of things, it does make you think differently. Let us get back to the natural audio of
I can loosen this thing up just a tad bit more. It's a little easier. Ooh, might be too easy for me to move. Damn it. Yeah, when you stand up, man, go, stay to your north side. Otherwise, your head's going to be bigger than all the boats. Maybe you reach your hand out and act like you're going to grab one of them boats. You get your fingers. Stick your hand out. I'll guide you to a boat, man. You'll reach out, be like a giant, coming up and crushing the boat between your fingers. Go to your right. No, you didn't. You just missed it.
He's stumbling around in wet football. Knew I should have wore tennis shoes.
That was perfect. That boat cut behind there made a little wake. Made the water spoof up.
Yeah, I pulled that tripod for the telescope off to use for my damn cell phone, but fuck it, I found a rock that works perfect.
Yeah. You should have grabbed that towel and kind of like laid it around your phone so it don't overheat.
Well, at this time of day, it's usually not too bad. Good breeze out, I think it might be alright. But we'll have to check.
Yeah, my tripod ain't quite level, but
No.
what can I expect from out here?
Well, do you have one of these swivel things on it?
Not on this one.
That one?
Yeah, this one doesn't swivel this way. You know what? I ought to zoom away so you can see these other boats. Let's zoom downhill. These other boats that are way out there. Shrimpers.
Oh yeah, I got myself on way the fuck out there.
Yeah, I loosened this one thing up, but the other one's tight, so it makes it hard to work. It goes up and down
Looks
easy.
Like he's not moving, but he's on that.
Yeah, that's the thing. When they're going away from you, they just keep getting
like
smaller and smaller and smaller.
Still sometimes.
Now, a lot of these shrimpers and crabbers go out 8 miles. So, how the hell am I seeing a boat out 8 miles when my tripod's this low?
This boat is not sinking over the curvature of Earth. This boat is compressing itself into its own reflection. And on other days that I've been out here with clear visibility, I could obviously see that, you know, I could see much further, because sometimes I could only see like the top masts of the boat at this distance. And other ones, if you watch some of my other videos, you can see these boats clearly in the water at this distance, if not farther. And you can tell just by the size of the boat. And when you compare these, which I could go back and maybe that one day I will just pick pieces and parts out of a lot of my videos and just show you the difference between this mirroring effect, the atmospheric conditions that causes the distortion, and this mirroring at this certain angular resolution is what causes this mirroring. And this mirroring is not a perfectly flat mirror. It's a concave, convex mirror, slightly, because it is a wavy mirror, just like the waves on the water are reflecting the light of the sky. And that's why these boats appear to be floating in the sky and not on the water. Look at that one. That looks like a spacecraft from, Star Wars. Maybe that's where they got the idea from. Who knows? But, these boats are clearly not going over the curvature of Earth. These boats are vanishing within their own reflection in a mirror. And again, in my mirror experiments that I'm going to do, I'm going to prove that this happens. And I think I did put out one mirror version of this. I'm not quite sure. I have to look back in all my videos. I've just been mind boggled a little bit by the eclipse and, by some other things that are occurring in my life. So, I'm going to continue my observations and continue to try to show my proofs and experiment and show that my proofs aren't just theories, and that people that really pay attention to the details will be the ones that will understand this more than anybody else. But the people that just look at it with, an unopened mind will continue to just have an unopened mind. And that's about all I can say. Is, once you're brainwashed and your mind only goes one way, you're not even going to attempt to look at what other people have to offer or what they want to show as proofs. It would just overlook you, mock you, make fun of you, laugh at you, whatever. But you know what? I think being a free thinker and thinking for oneself is one of the best things anybody could do for themselves. I mean, look at the way these waves are going. I mean, the ones that pop up get resolved further out. The ones that are down lower don't. So you're seeing this wavy mirror as it goes further and further away from you. So again, think for yourself a little more than your belief system that you were taught in school, and maybe you start questioning some of the things that most of us flat earthers had started questioning.
Be careful, man, on the last battery that I try to just do a bunch of time lapses on that.
I'm trying to be somewhat conservative.
I can always, you know what? That's what I like about being able to speed it up or slow it down. It's almost
Well,
like.
see, I'm also trying to do some panoramas and shit like that too.
See, when you do time lapse on this camera, it don't zoom out like it would that you think it does. And then you say, well, how in the hell are you capturing that good of a picture or a video of, say, Polaris? I'm not even getting the full zoom out of it. I'm thinking about taking and moving my GoPro again closer to the water. Oh shit! Here's my tripod. That might be good right where I got it though, dude. It might be catching all that wave and wave. There's a lot of boats. Yeah. Damn, I lost my boat. I ain't even paying attention. I can't see nothing without my sunglasses. When I put my sunglasses on, I can't see the damn screen. Because you're looking right into the damn sun.
Yeah, I'm blind too.
I'm gonna zoom back. I'm gonna shoot it out the
I usually
channel.
got my towel or something.
Now, when you look at these rocks and these waves, you'll see how these waves are blocking out some of the rocks, just like these boats out on the water. When it's in this, I say that the boats within that mirroring, what you don't see is the water, because the water is the mirror. So that water is blocking out the lower hulls or even the lower portions of far off buildings. Um, and this is something that again we can test. I mean, even look at these boats, the way their wakes are blocking things out. But when they get up into that mirroring area over that visible water line, you don't see those wakes. But that doesn't mean that those wakes aren't there. They are there. But because they're that inverted or concave, convex mirror, you won't see any of that lower portion of the boat. And then, of course, you got the atmosphere distorting the boat, so it even makes it hard to determine what you are seeing. But, after doing many, many observations, and that's what I say, that, I like doing these observations, because I do really learn a lot from them, and I learn about this mirroring effect. As a child, as a young kid, I went to a lot of carnivals, and I was very fascinated with the House of Mirrors, making it through the maze of mirrors. And then you got to the end of it, and then they had these wild looking curved, convex, concave mirrors in all different bends and shapes. And, you could stand in front of one of them, and, middle half of your body would disappear. Or they had ones where, you had long feet, or your head was stretched out, and they had other parts where you could move your hand, and you could see your hand, and then you'd see another hand underneath it, and as you would move your hand downward, your hand would just disappear within your own reflection. It would just disappear within the two hands, would just out of sight. Well, that's the same effect that you get with this mirroring that's out over this visible water line. And there's many times where I can prove that there's water well beyond these areas that you see on a day where the visibility is much better. You can definitely see much further. So that proves to me that the atmosphere is distorting how far out we can actually see in the water on these particular days. And then on the days I've got this great visibility, like I said, I've not only showed a video that bird rack is 4 miles away from Bayport, and I can see boats well beyond it and water well beyond it at 5 feet off the water. That tells me that there's something wrong with the basic principle that a man standing 5 foot off the water can only see approximately 3 miles, because that bird rack is 4 miles from me. I not only measured it with Google Earth, but I've also measured it from my GPS to that shoreline exactly where I stand. So, I do a lot of this research for myself. I don't have to share it, but I do share it because I want to share what I find with the world. And whether it's, I don't ask anybody to believe me. These are my opinions, my thoughts, my theories, if you will, on what I see out over that water, over that visible water line. That is a mirror. It is a mirror. It is not a mirage, which most people would call it, is a mirage. Because I would have to ask you, if I track a boat that's visually right in front of me, all the way out until it rises above this visible water line, when can you tell me, even a scientist, when can you tell me that it goes from a real boat into this mirage that there's so many definitions of what a mirage is? Which one is it? Number one, and when does it actually turn into that mirage? Because I just say it's a mirroring. And if you can prove me wrong on that, I would invite any scientist to view a lot of my videos and tell me and explain to me why I'm seeing what I see. I'm no rocket scientist, and I'm not the sharpest crayon or pencil in the box. But I'll tell you what, I got a lot more common sense than most of you damn scientists out there, because you learned from a book. You were a great parrot, and what you would parrot to me would just be parroting. And that's about how I would take it. You wouldn't be telling me what you actually thought. You would be telling me of what you learned, and what you learned from a book that other people told you to believe in. So is your belief system, and not really what you are actually observing. Challenge any of you, any one that can validate them being an actual scientist, to tell me why I see what I see on these waters. And I can, again, give you visual proof of my theories, and not just give you bullshit theories like the theory of gravity, where it's just density and buoyancy of an object that keeps it from floating or sinking. All right, so quit trying to sell that false science belief to people, and start observing the real world, that you can obviously see what's going on in a lot of my videos of this mirroring.
You know what I mean? You're laughing your ass off at yourself.
Yeah, these dudes are setting up shrimping right there.
Oh man, these guys are shrimp fairly well.
Or is he still rolling?
No, he's still rolling. He might put his riggers out.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, he'll put his riggers out, but they got to wait till they're a certain distance out there. And believe me, they're not going to drop them riggers in this channel.
Wouldn't be smart.
No, it wouldn't be, because they'll lose everything. Damn it! Come on here, man. This thing's like real touchy.
We're gonna see when this guy disappears over the curvature.
Yeah, going off the edge, man. Look at right there, man. There's the mirror. There's the
wait. No, dude. No.
Look at that.
It's a portal.
Yeah, that's right. That's a portal. It's the portal, water portal. There's a hole there that they're falling into. That's the end of the world.
Sorry, that's a portal. There's right.
It's the end of the world. See, they're right on the edge of falling off. Man, I wish I could loosen this one up just to make it a little looser. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I'm getting all off kilo here. Whoa. Oh, that guy's putting his rigger down on top of the other boat, man.
Is he?
It looks like it. Yeah, it looks like it because he's got his rigger out, but he's closer, and it looked like he put his rigger out right on top of that boat. Now he's turning off to the right more. Look at all these boats. Holy crap, there's boats galore out here.
about a half hour there.
Yeah, see, I'm on that tripod that I get all the time, right there. That tripod that I'm on, right out there. I see it from Bayport all the time. It's a big, long, tall, skinny one. It looks long and tall because it's mirroring itself. It is actually a tall one. Now you can see the size of this. This one boat is much closer than the other boat. That other boat is probably a mile away, if not more, from this boat. God, I can't even tell which boat I'm pointed at here, dude.
I know, dude. Confusing.
Well, I can't. I don't see the other boat behind this boat. I mean, I don't see it. You know, are they because they're that close to each other? I'm trying to look with my own eyes, and man, it looks like something in front of the boat, but I can't really make it out. That's got, yeah, okay, that's the one I'm looking at, though.
What I was doing there was I was comparing what I was seeing with my natural eyes and then compared it to what I was actually seeing in my camera. So, you know, you can obviously tell that this one boat is much further out, and you can even see the mirroring line in that farthest boat. And you can also see the mirroring line in this closer boat. So again, these mirror lines are really what you need to pay close attention to, and pay attention to the details of them. And that's my whole point of these observations. I mean, even look at the flashing lights on this farther boat where the sun's reflecting off of something. You can see it in the top and the bottom. So you know it is just a reflection off of a mirror. And that is what we are seeing that is cutting, you know, some of these edges off of these boats. And not only that, but the waves and wakes that we cannot see. That's the other part that's cutting away from some of these objects that we see out on the water, and that includes buildings at long distances. So these are my observational proofs. Like them or not, that's up to you. I don't force what I think, and I don't force nothing on anybody that you know, wants to have their own thoughts. That's fine, but don't criticize me for my observational proofs of what I see. And even right there, see the wake of that boat? Just blocks out that other boat. Why? Because I can resolve those wakes. Why? Because they're being pushed up above that mirroring line. All right, that was pretty obvious. That was actually a good example. And you can also see the wakes that this boat pushes out and how they rise up, and that's when the camera can resolve them as a wake. But when they're farther out there, you're not resolving it unless this boat somehow hits a big wake or something. You might see water shoot from it. And I have videos with boats, other boats, where you can see this at this distance, but the boat is a little clearer. All right, back to the natural audio.
Rocks to level out our cameras and shit. Should have brought some damn munchies. Didn't think about
Candy bar in there if you want.
one candy bar.
That's it.
Dude,
Oh, and I got some Cheetos.
Look, his downrigger's gonna pick up the other boat, man. He's gonna pick up the Mirage with his downrigger.
Oh, yeah. God damn. Wait about that.
How much longer to the sunset? Dude, man,
I don't know.
Dude, man, we got a good night, dude, I'm telling you.
I'm zoning out. Yeah, I know. It's pretty out here, ain't it?
Hey, you're gonna tell me what time it is first, though. It's like bribing. You don't know what time it is? I guess I gotta go jump in the boat and get my my phone.
Mine's over there, and I still won't be able to tell.
Just as long as I don't go swimming here trying to get mine. You should have seen the one day that I came up here, man. I was in shallow water. Shallow water. My boat was on that side of the canal. And all the boats going by.
Boom, 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 boom.
Glad it's aluminum boat and not fiberglass. Fiberglass, it.
Pop.
Oh yeah, it would have gouged the hell out of my underside. Oh shit. That's actually a good way to do things though. Here. Let's go this way a little bit here. See this boat. Right there. Damn, I wanted to catch him when he went by them rocks.
Yeah, I was hoping to catch them as they went by them rocks and zoomed out a little bit. So, I mean, you can look at the distance of these rocks to that boat, and you wouldn't think that they were that far from it. But, you know, if I rose up and showed you how, you know, far or how much area that these rocks are actually blocking, you'd be surprised how much, you know, you can see higher across that plane. It's like my board test that I did, where, you know, when I got down, the more level I got down with it, just the surface of the board became a little sliver. And you couldn't tell that that 7-foot board was 7 foot by just looking at it at an angle. So the angle, you know, is angular resolution, and what you can resolve at that angle is also part of this mirroring cause. Now you can look out there and see just the top masks of those boats, whereabouts you just threw that anchor. So is that boat actually going over the curve, or is it getting hidden by the atmosphere and the mirroring effect? Also, you know, there are times where you can see magnification effect, and that you can also see in a mirror. Again, if you go to the house of mirrors, you know, you can find a mirror where part of you gets enlarged and part of you gets shrunk. So again, this convex concave mirror causes all these effects as an object moves across this mirroring plane. So you could call it a mirroring plane, which is convex concave. But still, as far as I'm concerned, it is more on a level playing field. The level of your existence, or, you know, have you ever heard of the expression, you know, you live in an plane of existence? You know, that's, let me say that again. Have you ever heard the expression that you live in a plane of existence? Well, you do. But they want you to think that you live on this spinning ball because these ancient guys, philosophers from long ago, that didn't even have the technology that we have today, um, to really determine what they were actually seeing. So, you know, all of a sudden, this goes into schooling, teachings, and becomes the belief and the belief system that everybody up to today, 500 years of this, has been indoctrinated into. So to, you know, go out and do observations, I think is one of the most important things that you can do, because I get different visual effects on different days due to the atmospheric conditions, the visibility, and all of this plays with all kinds of conditions, all kinds of effects. And I tried to say this before, and I know I made a video very similar to this, or was the same footage, but I don't know if I brought up some of these details that I'm trying to bring in. But you know, when you live in this plane of existence, that this has been hidden from you for probably centuries, if not even longer, because there was two guys with a couple of sticks in a well that, you know, decided that because of their distance that there was curvature to the earth because they had a different bend to a stick. Well, you can do that on a plane and move away from that source of light and get the same results. I did it for myself to prove that this was possible, just in my driveway. And, you know, just even a short different distance made a big difference in the bending of that stick or the tilt of that stick. So I can imagine 500 miles would make a bigger difference, but it doesn't mean it was curved, because my driveway is pretty damn flat, especially where I tested it at. So again, you know, we got to break away from this belief system that we've been taught and think for yourself. And yes, you know, I am one of the people that will agree to disagree. You know, if you disagree with me, that's fine. I don't want to argue or be angry with you because you have a difference of opinion. Because you might see something that might even change my mind on what I'm seeing. But you know, Rob Shakiba shows it with this magnifying glass, and you know, showing how magnification can even cut off stuff. Well, again, these mirroring effects can not only make things smaller, but they can magnify things too. So I think comparing his magnification along with some mirroring would maybe be an awesome experiment to do. So you know, I don't get many comments from Rob Shakiba. I've made some comments on his channel, but I know he's a busy man and he doesn't always answer all of his you know, comments made to him. But you know, hopefully he'll check out my channel one day and see that I show some great observations, and might want to, you know, take a look at some of mine and see if he can combine some of mine with his. All right, well, let's see, I'm 40-something minutes into this video, and I got a couple other things I want to show here real quick after this, and let you take a look at that. I think that was something new that I didn't add to the last one. These were the huts and condos that I could see across 10 miles, and I don't really have to show you where the mirror line is. It's actually right there, pretty visible. So you know, you can see for yourself. And you know, this is where I say this mirroring effect can compress things and hide things within their own reflection. And when I do my mirror testing, I hope this really stands out like a sore thumb, and I can replicate this like Rob Shakiba does in his magnification videos. And this might be a little more logical than his, I don't know.
There's that Crystal River power plant where the smoke's coming up out of there. And we're gonna try to see that channel marker, and then when you look out there,
Yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah.
I see the channel marker, and then just to the right of that, or to the left of it, I see the stacks.
Yeah.
Now, you know, there's another one further down too.
That's what I thought I'd
Oh,
saw.
well,
I
what's
thought I
this?
saw a couple of them.
What's this that I see right here? What's this? This dark spot. See it? Yeah. That's part of the Crystal River Power Plant.
You gotta give him sun.
Yeah, we got to get the sun. We got to get the sunset here.
Okay, these were pictures of me trying to find that Crystal River power plant. It was approximately, I do believe it's like 65 miles away from me. It could even be up to 80 miles away. But I could finally see some of the lights from it here. Um, and one of them here, the next one coming up, I believe, is back towards those condos in Hudson. Yeah, and you can see as I'm zoomed further away, um, I get that better mirroring line. So, you know, I try to zoom in a little bit further, and I think the lighting really started mashing together and compressing together because of its brightness for my camera. Maybe I could have turned down some of the lighting in it and got a little better focus on it. But you can see that it is even a little out of focus. Even as I zoomed a little further away, it kind of stayed out of focus. So then I decide, well, let's start zooming back again and get it back in focus. And here it gets a little bit better. And seems like the farther I pull back too, I mean, this mirroring line can be obviously seen. I don't have to draw a line across it, give you graphics and show you where it's at. It's pretty obvious. You can see with your own eyes. And here it is again, a little further away. And, you know, the further away I get, of course, the object gets smaller. And, you know, then you start seeing it more like what you would see with your naked eye. And this one, you can see the other building next to it. I don't know what's glowing above it, if it was just an airplane coming up from this direction with its lights on. Sometimes you see them when they got their big bright lights on. It's like their headlights. But when they're that far away, it looks like one light until it gets closer to you. But now, you know, you can really see that mirroring line with your own two eyes and see how that mirrors across there. And again, within that mirroring, you can lose parts of the object, and you know they seem to appear to be cut off. But when you can see it in this mirroring effect, makes you wonder really if it's just being compressed because of this mirroring, like I say, in the house of mirrors. And then look here how I get farther away from it. I mean, it's almost like you stop seeing, you know, that mirror line so much. And this is what we'd start seeing more with our naked eye. Actually, this one is even more than what I could see with my naked eye. I could not quite see that well with it that far away. But here in the next few pictures, I'll give you an idea of what I see from my standing point. It becomes more like this is what I'm actually seeing, but not quite as brilliant, if you know what I mean. I can't quite see the brightness of it as well. And then, you know, I zoom back more now. That is probably a lot more of what I see with my naked eye. Now the camera does, when it goes back a little bit further, it can pull back a little farther than what you actually see. But sometimes I wonder too, about, just again, you start seeing this glow in the sky above the city lights or anything out there that's lit up in the sky. It's lighting up either the humidity above it or the clouds above it also. Or there even could be some mirroring further back behind it or up even higher in the sky. All depends on how you look at it, because you could see some kind of mirroring there. And then I start turning my camera more toward the east. You can see the front of my boat there to the little bit to the left. And I'm showing you going back toward the north, because here in a minute in this next little clip you'll see my boat, and even look at the light on my boat. It kind of resembles the sun a little bit in a sense, but you can still see the bright lights in the back illuminating the sky, or like I said, the atmosphere that's above it. Could have been hazy above the city. There was rain going on. I moved back toward the south a little bit, and I do believe this next picture is going to be, I'm trying to catch the moon with that horizon that you see now. I, of course, had to cock my camera a little sideways there to try to fit it in the picture. Of course, I'm fully zoomed out. Now I moved my camera up a little bit to start, try to give you a little outlook on the moon. The moon was not a full moon, I do not believe, this particular night. I could go back and check my records and tell you, but I don't want to try to go back that far on my cell phone and check that date's moon, what size it was. It could have been a full moon, but I don't really think it was. But you can see a few stars here with it. And again, these are just observations, and again, a lot of my opinion of what I see. You can agree with them, disagree with them, it's fine. I just hope that you liked my presentation and enjoyed my observational videos. And again, I think when I do some of my mirroring experiments, I can make some of these things really look more understandable and replicate some of the things that I see that are going out there. At least I hope so. We'll find out when I start doing some of my experiments with the mirrors, which that'll be coming up. I don't know if I'll post them right away, because I'm going to want to do several of them before I decide to start posting them. So I might just post some of my other observational videos. But I always want to thank my subscribers, my friends, and the people that do watch my entire long, sometimes boring videos. Thanks. Please like, subscribe, and share. Appreciate it. Have a good night.